Thank you very much, Mr Chair, and can I just take this opportunity to congratulate you to your appointment as Deputy Speaker. This is my first substantial contribution to this debate tonight, and also to Lindsay Tish, Chair Mallard, and the Speaker himself. Mr Speaker, I would like to go straight to sub-part 2 of part 1 of the bill, which goes to some way to amending the Charities Act 2005. And before I start that, I do want to acknowledge the officials who are in the House tonight, because there's one section of subpart 2, particularly clause 31, which I think adds 36M to the Principal Act, which exempts membership requirement for certain members of religious societies or orders from having to register under this Act. It does, this actually did trigger quite a serious debate in the Select Committee itself, because the religious group itself that was looking for an exemption is known to politics, and that they were members of the Exclusive Brethren. And I thought, as a member of the Commerce Select Committee in the previous Parliament, that they gave quite an interesting submission to look for exemption from this Act. Now, members of that religious group wanted to not be registered as particular members of the accounting society or organisation that has been given the rights and the responsibilities to police certain parts of this bill that we are debating today. And it was for religious reasons that they didn't want to be included or registered, but they were quite willing to be, I guess, judged upon their actions as accountants and their behaviour under the bill. So that gave us a bit of a dilemma as to whether or not they could act or transact business as accountants, but not do that as registered members of the organisation at hand. We did come up with, in the Select Committee, with something that is not necessarily done all too often in legislation, and that is that we did exempt people with certain religious beliefs from being party or members of an organisation, or in this part 36M, exempt from membership of accountancy bodies because of their religious beliefs. Now, obviously this created quite a bit of debate as to whether or not we were setting a dangerous precedent, but I understand, and maybe I could get a nod from one of the officials, that there was one other precedent for this, and I'm getting a nod, so that's good, in legislation, where we did give people who held certain religious beliefs exemption from being members of organisations such as this. But I think, in all honesty, that we came to a happy arrangement where we had a submission from members of the Exclusive Brethren where they said that they would act in the spirit of the rules of the organisations that they didn't want to be members of, and if they were seen to be breaking any of the rules and regulations that that organisation had, that they would be quite happy to, I guess, be ruled by that as well. There were some conditions upon that. There had to be a written agreement between the parties looking for an exemption and the body who they were looking to not become members of, and at any time I believe that body could take away that exemption. And if it did that, my understanding is that it would almost be impossible for them to trade as accountants under the new law. So I think that this was an issue that the Select Committee looked at in great detail, because we did think that there were some concerns around setting a precedent in this way for this type of exemption. It was heated because the members of the Exclusive Brethren obviously have had a role in politics in the last 10 years, but I believe that the Select Committee of the last Parliament looked at this and looked at it in a very constructive way. They were given quite a grilling as to why they wanted to be exempted from this particular part of the bill. but I think we came to what I would call a happy medium. I think we should watch this very closely, Mr Chair, and I would wonder if the Minister and the Chair would be able to suggest how we monitor this over the next 2 or 3 years, as this is new ground not just for the Parliament but also for those people with those particular religious beliefs. I do think, given the heat that could have been in the situation there, Mr Chair. Mr Chair? Mr Chair.
The Honourable, what's your name again?